Hello, I am John Gold 42. I am currently ranked 13th on the rankings. I was number one, first player with 2000 elo. But I am here to teach you the basics of Nerf Strike. There's a big difference between an average player and an above average player. That's because every average player sucks. Maybe you're an above average player who wants to learn more. Even the good players in this game don't know everything. And if you're maybe you see yourself not doing that well, this is the perfect place to be. Before I start, I want to quickly say if you really want to get better, the best place to go is to join the Metaverse Discord. That is hopefully in the description of this video, but it also might be, if it's not there, then it's also on the Roblox page for Nerf Strike. So if you go there, you'll see kind of the area for all their social medias. Twitter, I think, is linked, and their YouTube. Then you'll also see their Discord. You can join there. You'll be able to talk to me, Johan, who's fifth on the leaderboard, and probably the best player in the world, Sonic. So, yeah, with all that said and done, let's get into this. First things first, the key skill of this game. It's awareness. If you know where kind of the danger areas are, you'll do great. Especially around you. Sometimes if you hear, someone shooting, you need to know that's where someone is. Um, you don't need to really know, like, keep track of which players. You just need to kind of make a note that there's a danger there, such a player. You don't need to remember this for all of time, but just make a note where stuff is, and if you hear a player coming towards you holding the shoot button, those annoying players that think it's a good idea to just not stop holding the shoot button, then you can do a few things about that, you can like maybe approach them, try and challenge them, which is, if you've like kind of know how their patterns are, can be pretty good. You can run away, deal with it later. Maybe you could also, if they're walking away, you could also approach them because they're not going to turn around because they're bad. Um, there's a lot of things. If you hear a grenade, you know that there's a player over there that shot it. If you hear some gunshots, then you know there's a fight. Two players are over there. It's stuff like that, right? Um, one another thing is the sound of turrets too. If you hear a turret, you know you you need to be able to be prepared to deal with it. And also, if you hear one being placed, then that's also the place of the location of a player. You hear something like this thing, someone probably wants to go up it. There's a lot of things like that in this game to listen for, and just kind of keep track of. Next up, kind of positioning, I guess. Open areas are really bad in this game because you can be shot from everywhere. Your camera doesn't have full 360, degree motion, but if we quickly look, we got a sight line here, we got a sight line here, here. I guess kind of there, but not really. There. If I move over this way, it gets a bit worse. I think there. I forgot to mention that. If this is open, we got all of this. You know, from here, it's also a bit there. There's a lot of like bad. This is not a great position, but let's say maybe we're coming out from here, or even like here, right? And we have two options. We can go this way or this way. Go this way. Just take the little safer route. Even if you're going over here, maybe you can go like around here. You know, there's this to get around. There's enough sight lines for you to be able to like capitalize on kills, like here, and then you also got there. And then yeah, there's just always kind of take the alternate routes. It's actually not that vulnerable from here even. So if I look up here, you know, can't really shoot like here unless you like get all the way to the balcony, right? So yeah, it's just keep in mind for like anytime you can take cover. Cover is really good. Now you might have seen me do it in like the little last clip when I was like walking, but you can do this technique called shot canceling. This is the next thing I want to talk about. Basically, how it works is that you shoot, and then there's no cooldown on when you can start sprinting after. And then you can also just shoot from sprint. allowing you to just not lose your run speed. You can do this on every weapon except for the Titan and the Trio, to show off on like a fast weapon like the Echo. I'm just holding the click button and timing my sprint button, or you can, time it. I think the best player in the world, who's an Echo main, actually does that. Um, and then if I kind of show it off with like a weapon that doesn't work, Titan the Trio, yeah, you can see it doesn't really work. But this technique is what it's really good for is actually strafing. You strafing like this is not as good as like this. It's hard to do in practice. Sorry, it's way easier for me in the moment, but to get it leftwards. So sorry for the poor example, but you can kind of see there. You're doubling the amount you can strafe. You can also, approach and shoot. Especially like free for alls, it's pretty useful. Yeah, and then finally, what are the best weapons for starters, or for beginners? Volt and the Echo are the best. They're really cheap. If you also have it, the Fire Shot works. So if you want to look to buy a new weapon and want to know which ones are the best, I highly recommend the Volt and the Echo. They're probably the best two weapons in the game. That's not hyperbole. They are actually really cheap. Fire Shot is probably the best weapon in the game, but it's extremely similar to the Volt, so it's up to personal preference which one you use. I personally main the Volt, but I know that Johan uses the Fire Shot, and then the Echo's also an amazing weapon. Like I said before, Sonic uses it. These are great beginner weapons. They are great if you're using something like the Moto Strike, Dorado, or the where's the other weapon? Moto Strike, Dorado, or okay, I can't find it. Give me a second. Wait. Shockwave, Shockwave. Then, um, then you can keep using those weapons. Although, um, you know, with the exception, they're all just kind of worse than the Echo. Kind of. If you want to really find out, probably have a future video on that. Or join the Metaverse Discord. Um, I think then also the one and the Mastodon, if you want to use that in place of the Echo, you can. The one's actually legitimately good, but it also is Robux. So, and then finally, I guess the Magnus is kind of like the Volt and Fire Shot, just a little worse. And if you got one for free, I'd still recommend buying a Volt or Fire Shot. So they are really cheap, or I guess just the Volt is really cheap. But yeah, I think that covers about everything I want to say. I'll hopefully have future videos on breaking things down a little more, and you can also join the Metaverse Discord. I'm happy to help you with all your questions and whatever. All right. I hope you have a good day. Bye.